We talked about there were going to be headwinds this year because the Fed was going to have to withdraw liquidity. And so assets that went up based on cheap money forever, if they're growth stocks or expensive watches or crypto, were certainly under pressure all year long. What's exacerbated this move in crypto is, a bunch of leveraged players that had far more leverage than I think people thought. And so you can talk about Celsius or 3 Hours Capital. That's caused almost something similar to what happened in 1998 with long-term capital management. Alleged, market neutral players with monster leverage, and that's being unwound. And that's created a ton of fear in the space. And so you've seen lots of credit being withdrawn from the space. And when credit's withdrawn, you've seen prices collapse. And so I had hoped this year was 30,000, 50,000 Bitcoin. And once we took out, 30,000, 28,000, we've cascaded. 20,000 is a pretty good target with 1,000 on Ethereum. We've tested that 2 days. When I look at the U.S. stock market, it looks like it's got probably 4% more to go to 3,500, which is where the 200-week moving average is, where support comes in. And I think you're seeing this liquidation of risk, and crypto's gotten caught up with it.
Mike, tough question, but did you directly have any sort of exposure to those counterparts that you mentioned, the likes of Celsius, the likes of 3 Arrows, or is it more third order effects that you gain the exposure, and is it systemic?
Yeah, you get exposure indirectly from any big player in the space, right? And when you have really big players that have borrowed money from all over the place, it creates this daisy chain effect. And I think that's burning through the system right now. My sense is it's mostly burned out. Like these fires go until they run out of oxygen. And so, you'd have to be one heck of a diamond-handed player to have sustained all of this if you have too much leverage. And so my guess is leverage has been knocked out of the system. But Humpty Dumpty doesn't, get put back together right away. It takes a while to kind of sort through. There'll be bankruptcy proceedings in many companies. And so I think while we should bounce off of 20,000 and bounce off of 1,000, it's going to take a little while for crypto to regain a narrative and regain confidence.
Hey everybody, it's Eri from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And no, don't worry, I'm not going to go through price because I'm positive you know what your portfolio looks like. I'm just showing you the top 100 by market cap. You can see it's a mixed bag. We are really just going sideways as Bitcoin is hugging that $20,000 mark. I think the big question everybody is asking themselves is this the bottom? Are we going to see more fallout? I mean, we've had Luna, we've had Celsius. It looks like now we have 3 Arrows Capital. This is a fund manager that sent out a cryptic tweet on June 15th, and it was later reported that they were scrambling to find funds to repay lenders and counterparties after major liquidations. The problem that we have is that these are all related, and it creates this domino effect. There are other DeFi projects too that had their funds held by this VC. So those projects are also in a little bit of a problem. Here is that tweet. We are in the process of communicating with relevant parties and fully committed to working this out. Well, the block just reported that they are weighing their legal options. So it is not looking good at all. Ryan Salkus said that they are probably 1.5 billion in net liabilities, so they are definitely underwater. I don't often agree with Ryan Salkus, but in this particular Twitter space where he made a comment that we need transparency on the part of lending firms, custodians, and large material investors, don't regulate the protocols, regulate the centralized players, I think he's spot on. I really second that. You might be saying, well, this doesn't really matter to me. I didn't have anything to do with any of these firms, but it does matter. It affects the whole entire space. And despite the negative sentiment right now, we have Barry Silbert, the founder and CEO of CoinDesk, Grayscale, and the Digital Currency Group, says that he feels like we have hit max pain and uncertainty in the crypto market, and he's back buying Bitcoin again. Let's go. Well, I know he's just trying to change the sentiment, but boy, it's going to take more than a tweet that's looking like this. Every word of Powell's Fed rate hike speech is being analyzed. Twitter spaces are raging. Peter Schiff is gloating, and Bitcoin movement, everybody's watching the large amounts like what you see here in Whale Alert, so much going over to Gemini. It just fans the fire of fear. The cost of living is rising through inflation, and it's essentially giving everyone a pay cut. So people are going to cut their spending. So will the 0.75% rate hike put us into a recession? Bloomberg weighed in a few hours ago, and they had a representative from Morgan Stanley who said that we're only going to see a shallow recession. Biden says it can be avoided. But, when's the last time Biden went to the market with a grocery list? I saw King Solomon's tweet here where he put the prices down that he purchased for a barbecue dinner. Prices of hamburgers, hot dogs, cheese, and buns, and they're the highest I'd ever seen. As a matter of fact, he cites that these were all 40% cheaper just 6 to 9 months ago. Now, I believe in cycles, and this is just a cycle that has stronger headwinds than usual. For as long as VC's been around, they've been burying their dead very quietly. Galaxy Digital told Bloomberg on June 6th that 2/3 of the 1,900 crypto hedge funds will fail in this downturn. Takeaway point, the rate of success in your own portfolio is most likely to track similar. We're still in a speculative market, and I'm not sure exactly when, but I can tell you for sure it will turn to be a utility market, which means that those particular tokens and projects that are generating real revenue for companies with real world problems that are being solved, it will change. And this is no different than the dot-com boom when we saw this huge failure. Like it was called back then, when you were part of the 99% club. What that meant is that you were one of the 99% of the projects that failed. And it was just so similar. And so I don't doubt that it's going to have the same repeat, and that will be the projects that are solving real world problems and attached to companies that are making real world revenues. They will come out on the other side very, very successful. So you just want to have a diversified portfolio, and no, not everything is going to make it. All right, let's shift the sentiment for this video and look at some positive things that are happening in the space. Tony from Thinking Crypto had Michael Arrington on, the founder of Arrington Capital. And if you're an XRP holder, this is an interesting clip.
Are you still holding XRP, and how's Arrington XRP Capital going? That aspect of it, and any thoughts on the SEC Ripple lawsuit?
So what we refer to as our flagship fund, our largest fund, is Arrington XRP Capital, and that was a fund that we launched in 2018. The original investors, it has taken on new investors regularly. It ballooned up in size to, I think it was close to $2 billion last year.
Wow.
It's doing great. It's not doing great right now, but it's doing great big picture. And we hold XRP, and we talk to Ripple daily, if not weekly or weekly. I believe in XRP. I believe it will recover. It needs to. And with regard to the lawsuit, I don't know. I know the same thing. I read the news. It looks like it's going pretty well. It looks like the SEC is way over its skis. But we'll see what happens.
And sticking with XRP, you can see that attorney John Deaton now has 67,890 XRP holders that he is representing from across the globe. This is a strong number. If you missed the tweet from Flare, you can see that they have successfully passed their audit. So the launch details are going to come at the end of this week onwards. You want to go to flare.xyz. Everything you want to know is on this site. And for the distribution, click on blog and find the article that addresses distribution. And you'll see that that initial drop is going to be 15%, and it'll explain how then the Spark token will continue to drop for those people who have it with centralized exchanges. I talked about this briefly in my last video. This is the Lighthouse report that is going to be launched in July by Genfinity. It is the first of its kind for this market. I'm a contributor. I cannot wait for you to learn about what I am covering in this segment called C-Suite. And yeah, I can't say. I am doing the darndest to keep quiet because it's really big news. I'm so excited. So do look forward to this. You can go to the website now. I'll put a link to it in the description below. That will allow you to sign up. There is no charge for this introductory edition. It's going to be an interactive, first of its kind research report that is very, very unique in the way that it is being done. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really great addition to the space. I want you to seek out those companies that are doing so well in this bad space. Look at the quarter-on-quarter change comparison with Coinbase, Robinhood, Forge, and Linqto. Linqto is up 26.3%, and the year-on-year change, look at that, 165% up in comparison to Coinbase being 35% down, Robinhood 42% down, and Forge, which is a company that specializes in private equity, is 36% down. So follow the money. That's what I want to tell you. Follow the money. To see their offer price, I'll have a link in the description of this video. Just click on it, 30 seconds to sign up. And if you are outside of the United States, they have a great support team which will provide you the information to find out if you meet the requirements of an accredited investor in your country. All right, everybody, let's jump to the fluff. Yeah, Moonchaser, my friend, sent me this creepy robotic nightlight that takes you to the bathroom at night. She says, well, if you're looking for some creepy fluff, this is it. Yeah, I agree, Moonchaser. It's a little creepy, but what is even creepier is I had already planned to do a creepy fluff, but I don't know which is creepier, my fluff or yours. There's a company in Tokyo that has, well, reinvented itself. And you got to give the company credit for that. It's a company that makes coffins, Western-style coffins. They're a little bit of a novelty item here because it really isn't something that the Japanese use. So for about $4,000 US, you can get a coffin, and they're marketing it as a table, or it also doubles as a storage unit. And the number one seller is the pink, of course. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.